បាទជំរាបសួរទូរទស្សនិកជនជាទីមេត្រីបាទសូមស្វាគមន៍មកកាន់កម្មវិធីជួបជាមួយនឹងខ្មែរ TV នាសប្តាហ៍នេះបាទថ្ងៃនេះយើងមានសេចក្តីសោមនស្សរីករាយយ៉ាងខ្លាំងដែលដុកទ័រស៊ូលីសារ៉ូបានអញ្ជើញមកចូលរួមធ្វើបទសម្ភាសន៍នៅក្នុងស្ថានីយទូរទស្សន៍ខ្មែរ TV យើងថ្ងៃនេះបាទហើយដុកទ័រស៊ូលីសារ៉ូគាត់នឹងជារ៉ាន់ធ្វើCity Council នៅទីក្រុង Long Beach ហើយយើងនឹងមានសេចក្តីសោមនស្សយ៉ាងខ្លាំងដើម្បីជួបពិភាក្សាជាមួយនឹងដុកទ័រថាតើគាត់មានគោលបំណងអ្វីខ្លះចំពោះប្រជាជនខ្មែរយើងនៅទីក្រុង Long Beach បាទហើយហេតុដូច្នេះសូមកុំបាយអារម្មណ៍ទូតែខ្ញុំមកជួបជាមួយនឹងដុកទ័រស៊ូលីសារ៉ូដូចតទៅបាទជម្រាបសួរដុកទ័រស៊ូលី How are you?
So, doing well. Thank you so much for having me here today.
Thank you. First, I would like you to, I guess I'm going to speak English, right? Because probably better for you. It's more comfortable. So first, can you please introduce yourself to the audience, please?
Yeah, so I'm Dr. Suli Saro, and I'm running for Long Beach City Council District 6. And I'm running to put people first and to use my experience and knowledge to making the district better. And I decided to run because I wanted to, it's been building on my work to contribute to making our community better. I've been a labor organizer fighting for workers' rights and benefits. I've served as a executive director of Khmer Girls in Action for 5 years, working with young people in the 6th district, and also have worked as a policy advocate and worked for a state senator. Currently a professor at Cal State LA, and I also work for a state agency called the Rivers Mountains Conservancy.
Sounds very good. Well, I think my first question is, what inspired you to run for city council? Since I believe we never ever have any Cambodian related or Cambodian, at least a Cambodian blood that have any interest running the city council at all. And I know that probably the world knows that Long Beach is the largest Khmer community, but we have no Khmer at all represent us at the politics at the city level or anything. So what inspired you to run for the city council?
I do want to share that we have had Cambodian Americans run for city council seats, but none that was able to win a primary or move on to a general election. So I do want to acknowledge that there have been some attempts, but I think that is why I'm running, is that I think that I'm inspired to run in helping to improve the community and believing that I can help bring some ideas in addressing and solving problems that we see every day, such as the homelessness issue that is a crisis right now with our housing issues. So it really comes from my place of service and wanting to make things better. Certainly inspired by the Cambodian community because I grew up in it, and having grown up as a refugee and figuring out how to make sense of who I am and what role I play in this country, and also how do I give back and honor what you and many other older generation have done to build our community. And I wanted to give back, and that's the way I wanted to continue doing it, and having served in other professional roles in helping people.
That sounds very good. One other thing that I'd like to see is that I believe that city council work at some time you have to commit it into different hours and stuff like that. Are you willing to sacrifice those time and hour to do the work at the city council level?
Absolutely. I know that it takes a lot of commitment and dedication, and I'm willing to put in the work. I don't think many people know that Long Beach City Council seats position is part-time. So most who are not retired do have another full-time job on top of being a council member when they're elected. So I am willing to and am committed to putting in the time and the work and ideas to helping to serve the community and address the problem that we face, not just as a district, but in the city as well.
Sounds good. If you get elected, are you planning on getting some Cambodian speaking kids or person to kind of like work with you in order to bridge the gap between the older, the younger, that they don't speak English, like that within your office?
Absolutely. I think that for me, it's a priority to hire people who reflect the community, and that also means people who speak the language and that includes Cambodian and also Spanish, but also reflect the diversity of what is required to address the need of this district. So I want to make sure I have staff who is committed to service and that will put people first and that will have good constituent service. Also thinking about somebody who has policy experience so that we can think about ways to address problems through legal process and so definitely I'm committed to having staff that reflects the community.
Thank you. With the city council job, I don't know very much about that because I guess I'm not educated here or planning to run anytime soon. But my question is, how much power can you do to help, for example, like the homelessness or the poor to get more educated? For example, like we have a single parent or a single mother or single father who unable to afford their kid to go to school or college and stuff like that. How much can you do to help those people?
Well, I think you're asking a really good question because many people don't know what a council member do, and we are actually responsible for your day-to-day quality of life. So when the moment you open your door and you head outside to the street and you see a pothole to street lights are broken, that's you call your council member to help access services to fix the issue. Or if you see your street dirty, it's also calling your council member to see, well, how do you get that clean, but also think about how do we keep it clean as a neighborhood together as a city, right? But it also goes into budget. City council member have budgets that they can use to think about how to enhance programming in their district. So you mentioned maybe working with nonprofits and utilizing certain city resource so that it gets grouped together to address maybe after school programming for children, but using park city services with nonprofit. So there's a lot of room. There are certain level of funding and resources, a little bit more limited now because of COVID. It's impacted the budget, but we have the ability to support cultural programming that happens like parades and other activities, and also make decision around local laws that decide whether or not we should have a tax or not to pay for certain things like the housing issue. How do we maybe build more shelter? So there's a lot of things we can do, and that's part of why I'm running is I want to help educate the community member how you can have a voice and ask for things if you don't know, and how we can help answer questions that you have. So I want to be someone who's responsive, who's in the community that can help educate and work together with everyone.
Wow, wow, you know what? This is the first time I ever heard or I know that if I have a pothole in front of my house, I can actually call a city council. I did not know that before.
Yeah,
So now I know. Yeah, if I have a pothole, you can actually call city council and say I have a pothole in the front, and then what are you going to do, or can you come and get it fixed, or whatever it is, right? So that's.
yeah.
But anyway, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, I would like to yeah, to find out some more about the role for the city council. Okay, so we're going to take a
Yeah.
quick break and we will be right back.
Okay.
កម្មវិធីសូមសម្រាប់មួយផ្លែតសិនបាទសូមស្វាគមន៍ត្រឡប់មកវិញបាទបាញ់មិញខ្ញុំកំពុងតែជួបជាមួយនឹងដុកទ័រស៊ូលីសារ៉ូគាត់ជាបេក្ខជនប្រឡងចៅសង្កាត់ប្រឡងយកចៅសង្កាត់នៅទីក្រុងខ្មែរយើងនៅសង្កាត់ទី6បាទ ហើយគាត់ជាកូនខ្មែរយើងដែលបានមករស់នៅទីក្រុងអាមេរិកនេះតាំងពីតូចរហូតមកដល់ម្លេះហើយឥឡូវនេះយើងចង់ពិភាក្សាជាមួយគាត់បន្តទៅទៀតអំពីរឿងភារកិច្ចគាត់ដែលជាចៅសង្កាត់នៅក្នុងសង្កាត់ទី6បាទ I just first time I know that how we can call city council. So, for example, if we have like a noisy street or a noisy neighborhood or something like that, should we call a city council or like the car driving too fast? We have kids cannot go out and play stuff like that. Is that all the
Yeah.
city council job too?
Yes. So that's where you should, it's pretty much any issue you have in the city. Once you you get onto your sidewalk, there are local laws around everything. And it's about letting them know if it's working or not, right? So they represent you. So if you don't tell them something is working and not working, or if you have a problem, they won't know what they need to do to fix it. And so that's why it's really important you know who your city council is, so that you can call them and talk to them. And that's why it's important you have people who work in the office speak other languages so that people feel comfortable contacting them when they have any questions. So that's why I'm running, is that I want to make sure we're able to work with everybody and answer everyone's question, and also really empower them to use their voice and not be afraid when they wonder about something or need help with something. Is That's what we're here to do, is to serve the public and to serve the district that you represent.
Well, that sounds really good. So I think we, as a Cambodian in the city of Long Beach, unfortunately, I'm not in the city of Long Beach that I can vote. I would vote for you 10 times if I could, because I really want to have at least a Cambodian person sitting over there because we never had before. I never even heard before that somebody run, but I guess you do know that someone else was trying to run before, but at least we have you now, and I would like to ask everyone that are watching out there to help try to, if you live in the cities, if you live in the sixth district, help vote for Suli so she can help us. So she's going to have Cambodian speaking that can actually, that we can have older Cambodian people call in and ask and talk and converse about the problem that she have outside the houses around the area, because I don't think a lot of the Cambodian, I think they even fear to vote, or they don't even know how to vote. And if we can tell them these are all the things that they want to talk to, they want somebody that they can talk to, because I think right now they cannot talk to anybody, right?
Right, and that's the reason why I have so many. It's so important to have people who volunteer on my campaign who speaks the language and is from the community, so that we can educate people how to vote. First, help them register to vote, how to vote, and then help them, let them know where they can mail their ballot. Right now, because of COVID, there are limited voter centers that are open where you can go and vote, so everyone's get a mail and the ballot if they register to vote. Today, October 19th, is the last day to register to vote to get a ballot in the mail. So here's something that I want to be, where you don't have to wait, right, as a council member to have somebody call you, is you can go to the community, which is what I want to do, is go to centers, senior centers, go to community center, or go to the Watt, go to churches and say, hey, we're from the council office and we're here to serve you. What are some issues you're having? And sometimes if it's a problem with the state, with DNB, we can connect you to the state senator or state assembly office to help you solve that problem. If it's an immigration problem, that's federal. We can connect you to the Congress member office so that they can help you. So there are a lot of services, and my role that I will play, and which is why I'm hoping to count on your vote, is to continue to educate and empower people so they know what their right is and what services are available that are free. These are free services that you're not supposed to pay, if you know how to access it.
Wow, you know what? That's a lot of information that I learned that I didn't know that the function of the city council can do. So it's very powerful. Basically,
Yeah.
if there's any issue, if you cannot do, you can actually connect us to the Congress or to anywhere because
Mhm.
you kind of like work directly with us and
Mhm.
also work directly with them on the other side, on the other end, that you can direct our information or our problems. For example, let's say we have a Cambodian family here, a daughter or a mother that want to sponsor their kid from Cambodia. If they're taking too long, they can always ask you a question and say, "Can you help me find out who can do that?" And you can actually connect them to Congress or representative for us, right?
Yeah, because every elected office, they have staff working for them, and they always have somebody who helps them with any connecting them with a department. And the Congress member office has somebody who will work with the immigration office, right? And so that is why your local city council person that you elect is so important because they're your first person you go to. They're your first point of contact to get access to anything. And they're local and they're right there in your neighborhood, and they should be somebody you see on a regular basis and that you should be able to talk to. And that's why it's important that you vote because you want to elect the best person who's going to not only help you solve the problem, but will talk to you and communicate with you and be there for you.
Yeah, thank you very much. Just make me as soon as as long as I talk to you longer and longer, I feel make me want to vote, want to vote for you basically. But I just outside of it because it seems like you really want to help the community and you really want to make the changes, make a difference. Because I guess you probably see that whatever happened, well, the length or the times so far, it's a lot of things is not happening. Our elder people cannot communicate with anybody in the city if they have an issue for, let's say, the water problem or anything like that. So they cannot talk to anybody. So I think, guess if you got the if you get elected, you probably have a lot more power to help our people, at least
Mhm.
our people in that area. I want to ask you about talking about power. I have a question about how much power decision that you can make. For example, um, let's say I have a pothole in front of my house. For example, I'm in live in the sixth district. I have a pothole. I call up. Do you have to go through a whole bunch of other red tape before you get somebody to come in and fill out the pothole, or you can just say, "Hey, okay, let's send somebody to go and fill out the pothole on the street."
So it depends on a variety, but that's a very good question. But who we would contact is then the Department of Public Works, who would be able to do that, and then they'll let us know, okay, if they can do it or not. It depends on how deep the pothole is and how much work is required. But our role is to make sure we get that to the department and that we get it in line to be resolved. And when it doesn't, you call us back. You let us know it's been a month and nothing's been done, and we help follow up on that issue so that it doesn't get forgotten. So that's part of the role that your council member play, and they are advocate to make sure that those problems get fixed as soon as possible, and that they communicate and update you why and why not.
Right. Wow. That sounds really good. That sounds really good. We're going to take another quick break, and when we come back, I want to see how we can be involved. Let's say somebody that is there, or how I can involve from the outside of the area to help you get elected. So when we come back, okay. For right now, we're going to take a quick break. But ពីកម្មវិធីសំសម្រាប់មួយផ្លែតសិនបាទ បាទសូមស្វាគមន៍ត្រឡប់មកវិញបាទយើងសូមស្វាគមន៍ដុកទ័រស៊ូលីសារ៉ូត្រឡប់មកវិញបាទខ្ញុំចង់សួរថាអឺបើសិនជាខ្ញុំមាន business នៅទីក្រុង Long Beach ហ្នឹងនៅក្នុង Six District ហ្នឹងហើយខ្ញុំមានឧទាហរណ៍ថាការភ័យព្រួយ Actually, I'm going to, sorry, I'm going to tell you in English. Let's say that I have a business in the 6th district, and I have kind of like a feeling that it's not safe after, let's say, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And I want to open a business till like 6 or 7 o'clock in the evening. Should I talk to the city council and address them and ask them to see if they can send more police or something like that too?
I think that the first step is to talk to your council member again. It's the first person and see, well, what kind of program, what's going on in the neighborhood to connect you with the other business. Maybe they have the same concern. If I hear the concern from more than one business, then we need to figure out, well, what is the problem of causing people to not feel safe? Maybe we need more lighting in the sidewalk, or maybe the lighting is not good enough. And also thinking about if there is funding available, or if there are already security, are they securing that area? So there's a lot of areas that we can help problem solve and have conversation and it begins with either the resident or the business owner reaching out and sharing their concern and communicating with us.
Let's say that somebody want to open up a business,
Mhm.
and in fact, actually myself, in 2013, I was planning to open up the Khmer TV in Long Beach, and it took me, I guess it's like 2 months or something. I still did not get my business license, and I have no clue what to do, so I left. And my question is that it's something like that. I can go to you also and ask them why my license is not approved.
Absolutely. Because that's again for us to contact, hey, we have a business who wants to do business in the city. How do we help you uh, make that process easier? And my daughter's here to say hi. And so the city has economic development department. I'm just talking really quick to talk to them about how for businesses there should be a way in where they set you up with a program to figure out that what you need to do in order to get your license. So it's really important again that you contact somebody, their council member, to connect you with the right people at the city. But that's also the other power we have as a council member, is to think about maybe we need a program that's in the community, so you don't have to go to city hall or call us, but that we're right there to assist you with maybe your need or how to help you get started.
That sounds very good. I wish I know how to contact the city council before. Basically, the city council job is not only can help the residential people, but also help the business owner to get license, to get safety, open up bongers and stuff like that. So it's
Yeah.
really, really powerful. So my other question is, well, actually, not the question. I think so. The job of the city council is not only helping the resident solve their personal problem or anything else. Not personal problem. I'm sorry. Is the problem that are outside of their perimeter, their house. So, for example, like the street noises and potholes and stuff like that. But you can also help the business owner to figure out the solution for them if they feel unsafe after 5 o'clock or something. Is that either the light not enough? So you can actually help the residents and the business to solve their issue in order to make them feel safe to open a business longer. And you all have, and you have the resource within your hand to do all of that without asking someone else that I need an approval from the mayor, or I need approval from the state or anything like that, because there's a limited amount of funding that you can do all of that by the city, within the city councils, right?
Well, I think you kind of went into, well, do I have resources to address it? So the first question is, if they can contact you if you have concern around safety? Yes, you contact because it's about whether or not safety, the services that the city providing is working or not. And then when you think about solutions, and that's where, as a council member, why it's important you elect the right person, is that we figure out, well, what's causing the problem of people feeling unsafe. Is it because maybe the lights are not lit? maybe the lights are broken. Do we need to maybe ensure that if there's area that our patrol is it getting patrol enough? But I think that it's also somebody who thinks about what's causing the unsafety, right? Has there been past history of vandalism? So it's really being able to pinpoint the problem and then finding the right solution. And that's the job that the council member does, is they have to figure out what are solutions and then think about, well, what are the resources we have? You still, is it working with the police officer, or maybe working with the neighborhood and getting them involved so that they can help look out for each other? So there are a variety of solution, and that's why you want somebody who is knowledgeable and experienced and creative to think about all of those things.
Thank you. I think you sounds very experienced, and you already sounds knowledgeable to me too, because you answer everything flawlessly. How can I be involved, or anybody that listen out there? How can they be involved? Help you get elected, either physically or money wise or anything. Is there a maximum amount you can donate? Is there a minimum amount you can donate, or is there any time that they can? Let's say I don't have any money, I want to go and help, but what can I do? Do I go there and make phone calls, or what can people do to help you get elected out there?
Thank you for asking that question. Yes, there's a lot of ways people can help. They don't have to live even in the city. So we have, because of COVID, we cannot knock on people's door. We actually call them on the telephone, and so we can set you up to help us call people no matter where you are. We do a phone banking party that's virtual through Zoom. The other is we have people who volunteer to help us text. And if you want to give money because you don't have time, you can donate to my campaign, and the maximum that anyone can donate is $400. So I've had everybody donate. The smallest donation has been $1 up to 400, and I've been and so grateful for every dollar that's given, because this campaign has been mostly funded by people who are from the community, people who are supportive of the campaign. And that's why this campaign has been successful. It's been driven by people volunteering their time or giving their money.
I think sounds great. I think there's more of those people out there that like you, even though the donation of $1, it doesn't mean that uh, a little. I mean a lot, because I guess it's just their heart that they want to donate, because if they don't have any money, that's the reason why they donate that much. But they do want you to win. That's the reason why they donate to you. So basically, it's a, yeah, exactly. It's coming from um, a regular person rather than an interest, rich people that they want to dominate. You know, a lot of the time, I heard, well, I don't know if it's true or not. Sometimes there's a lot of people, they can buy your, spend like lots of money to donate, and then they try to take a whole lot of interest back after that. But I think it is very good to get a lot more people donate rather than just one person donate a lot of money. Then, because then you're not going to get a lot of vote, you're probably going to get one vote from that person, right? Regardless of money you get. Yeah.
Well,
So people can actually.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Oh no, you were saying yes, people can donate any amount, and people sometimes wonder, well, what do you use this money for? Like, where does the money go? And because of COVID, a lot of the money is spent to mail information to people, and that costs money. And there's thousands of people that live in this district. We have 50,000 people in the 6th district. We have about a little over 20,000 registered to vote. And so we don't mail everything, but we make sure we target people. Like, some are Spanish speakers, so we target them with flyer in Spanish or Khmer in Khmer. So it requires a lot of money for postage and printing, and that's where most of the money is going right now, since I'm limited to talking to people face to face.
Okay, thank you very much. We're gonna take another quick break, and when we come back, we're gonna ask one important question that I guess a lot of other people probably want to know also. Okay, so we're going to take a quick break and we're going to continue the conversation after we come back. ពីកម្មវិធីសូមសម្រាប់មួយផ្លែសិនបាទសូមស្វាគមន៍ត្រឡប់មកវិញបាទខ្ញុំចង់ I want to ask you, let's say that you get elected in October, what would be the first thing that you do in office?
Oh, well, when I get elected in November, there are a variety of things. Yes, hopefully in November because we're in October. But there are many things to do immediately. I think that there are a lot of concerns that I've heard from voters directly is they want to see less trash in the sidewalks, in their alley. They want to have it's more a safer neighborhood, a cleaner neighborhood, and that requires making sure that we're working to figure out what that problem is, to also addressing a variety of parking issues that are affecting people's quality of life, because there are many who are working from home. And so it's really thinking about how do we audit existing space. Maybe we can make more room for parking, but also think about using public space for parking for people temporarily. And the other are bigger issues that are going to have some short but also long-term solution, and that is addressing our homeless issue. The fact that people are becoming homeless at a regular and actually high rate is making sure we prevent people from becoming homeless, and that is ensuring that they continue to keep their job and that they're working and that homes are affordable. And the other is, if people are homeless, we need to get them off the street, get them into a shelter, something they call more bridge housing, which is permanent supportive housing, getting them on a pathway so that they're not left on the street and that they're getting in pathways into stability. And the other is economic development. I think that people really want to see a thriving business quarter, like a thriving Cambodia town, a thriving Pacific Avenue area where the Wrigley neighborhood is, and Long Beach Boulevard. So there's a lot of work we can do to bring in businesses and help support them, and also make sure that we work with the residents to see what business they want to see there, right? I heard a lot of concern that people have about having certain stores more than enough, maybe there are too many of the same business, and that we need diverse business. And then lastly is making sure we continue to address the COVID pandemic. Are people getting the right information so they don't get infected? Do they know that there's testing available? Do they have a place to quarantine themselves? So there are those top issues that I want to work on immediately that I'm hearing the most about from people right now.
I think sounds good. I'm sorry, you can go ahead.
Oh, sorry. That I'm hoping to count on your vote by November 3rd so that I can get to work immediately to addressing all of these issues.
I just want to say, I just want to say in Khmer a little bit to the Cambodian people out there. ខ្ញុំចង់ជម្រាបទៅទូរទស្សនិកជនទាំងអស់ដែលនៅក្នុងទីក្រុងឡងបិចនៅសង្កាត់ទី6 បើសិនជាលោកអ្នកបានចុះឈ្មោះបោះឆ្នោតហើយត្រូវការបោះឆ្នោតសូមអញ្ជើញទៅជួយបោះឆ្នោតហើយបើសិនជាបោះឆ្នោតសូមជួយបោះឆ្នោតឲ្យ Dr. Suli Saro គាត់នឹងមានឧត្តមគតិខ្ពស់ដើម្បីជួយខ្មែរយើងហើយគាត់នឹងខំប្រឹងប្រែងអស់ពីសមត្ថភាពដើម្បីជួយប្រជាជនខ្មែរហើយនឹងជួយ business ទៅក្នុងជួយនឹងម្ចាស់ក្រុមហ៊ុននៅទីក្រុងឡងប៊ីចហ្នឹងនៅក្នុងសង្កាត់ដែលគាត់អាចធ្វើទៅបានព្រោះគាត់មិនអាចហួសពីសង្កាត់ទី6បានទេគាត់ធ្វើទៅនៅក្នុងសង្កាត់ទី6ហើយបើសិនជាមានបញ្ហាដូចជាសរសេរអក្សរឬក៏ graffiti នៅនឹងជាងឬក៏មានកលុកអីទៅនឹងខ្នល់ឬក៏មានបញ្ហាដូចជាមានពួកចោលឬក៏អីឆក់អីមិនល្អមកនៅកន្លែងហ្នឹងក៏យើងអាចតាក់ទងទៅគាត់ដើម្បីឲ្យគាត់ជួយដោះស្រាយបញ្ហាហ្នឹងដែរហើយមិនតែប៉ុណ្្នឹងទេគាត់នឹងមានខ្មែរគាត់នឹងមានជនជាតិខ្មែរយើងម្នាក់ដែលធ្វើការនៅកន្លែងជាមួយគាត់ហ្នឹងដើម្បីជួយ ធ្វើកិច្ចការគាត់តាក់ទងនិយាយជាមួយនឹងខ្មែរជាមួយនឹងចាស់ជាមួយនឹងក្មេងមួយអ្នកណាដែលចេះភាសាខ្មែរពេលទូរស័ព្ទមកគឺនិយាយភាសាខ្មែរតែម្ដងដើម្បីកុំឲ្យពិបាកហើយគាត់នឹងមានតាក់ទងទៅខាងមិនមែនតែព្រួយនៅសង្កាត់ទី6ហ្នឹងមិនមែនតែខ្មែរយើងទាំងអស់ទេព្រួយមានសាសមិចមានអីដែរមកឲ្យគាត់ត្រូវតែមានសាសផ្សេងទៀតដែរដើម្បីជួយធ្វើការគាត់នៅក្នុងហ្នឹងបាទហើយតាមតែខ្ញុំស្ដាប់តាំងពីដើមមកគឺថាគាត់មានគោលគំនិតដ៏ល្អមែនតើគោលគំនិតដ៏ល្អជួយតាំងពីដើម្បីកុំឲ្យអ្នកអត់ផ្ទះនៅហើយអ្នកដែលក្រដែលអត់មានជួយឲ្យមានជួយកូនឬក៏ជួយគ្រួសារដែលអត់មានសមត្ថភាពទៅរៀននៅថ្នាក់ធំហ្នឹងគឺគាត់គិតគូរដើម្បីថាធ្វើវាយ៉ាងម៉េចដើម្បីដោះស្រាយបញ្ហាកុំឲ្យមានកូនខ្មែរយើងល្ងងទៀតដើម្បីឲ្យខំរៀនដើម្បីធ្វើអ្វីឲ្យបានសិក្សាឲ្យបានខ្ពស់បាទហើយនឹងជួយខាងអ្វីជាផ្សេងទៀតជាច្រើនឲ្យតែយើងមានបញ្ហាខាងអន្តោប្រវេសន៍ក៏គាត់អាចជួយបានហើយបើសិនជាគាត់ជួយមិនបានទេគាត់នឹងតាក់ទងរកកន្លែងណាដែលគាត់អាចជួយយើងបានមកហើយជាសំខាន់ជាងគេផុតគឺកន្លែងហ្នឹងដែលគាត់អាចតាក់ទងគេដើម្បីជួយយើងហើយយើងត្រូវហើយជាពិសេសទី1ហើយដែលយើងអត់មានខ្មែរណាដែលមានចេះមានប្រាជ្ញាមានឆ្លាតវាវៃបើខ្មែរយើងហៅថាបណ្ឌិតបាទហើយគាត់នៅក្មេងផងហើយគាត់រៀនបានដល់ថ្នាក់បណ្ឌិតបាទនេះតែគាត់ចេះដឹងច្រើនហើយគាត់នឹងអាចជួយដល់ខ្មែរយើងជាច្រើនទៀតហើយលើកទី1ហើយមកហើយខ្ញុំក៏សូមអំពាវនាវដល់ទូទាំងជនទាំងអស់បាទនៅក្នុងទីក្រុងLong Beach ហ្នឹងនៅសង្កាត់ទី6គេហៅថា66ពេលទៅបោះឆ្នោតហ្នឹងបើកាលណាឃើញឈ្មោះ Dr. Suli Saro នៅលើសន្លឹកឆ្នោតហ្នឹងគូសយកតែម្ដងទៅម្ដងនៅសង្កាត់ណាក៏ឲ្យទៅបោះឆ្នោតទៅឃើញហ្នឹងគឺគូសយកទៅអានោះអត់ចេះខុសទេបាទដើម្បីកុំឲ្យខកអត់នេះព្រោះខ្ញុំមិនដឹងថាតើវាត្រឹមណាទៅត្រឹមណាសង្កាត់ទី6មកហើយព្រោះវាគូសmap នៅក្នុង Long Beach ហ្នឹងវាពិបាកយើងមិនដឹងថាត្រឹមណាទៅត្រឹមណាឲ្យបានពិតប្រាកដទេមកហើយយើងមើលតែនៅក្នុងស្លឹកឆ្នោតហ្នឹងឲ្យតែឃើញ Dr. Suli Saro គឺគូសទៅអានឹងអត់ខុសទេគ្នាយើងបាទកម្មវិធីយើងចិត្តឈានដល់នេះបញ្ចប់ហើយខ្ញុំចង់សួរDr. Suli, do you have any last word to say to those people who help you out there or the people that planning to vote out there?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to just thank everyone so much for being part of this campaign journey since I announced back in February 2019 that I'm going to be running. And people have been so receptive and supportive. I'm so grateful for people believing in me to be able to serve the community and to make things better. I hope I can count on your vote if you haven't decided yet. And that I look forward to serving you come after November 3rd. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for spending the time with us tonight. ខ្ញុំសូមអរគុណដល់ទូរទស្សនិកជនទាំងអស់ដែលបានតាមដានទស្សនាខ្មែរ TV តាំងពីដើមរហូតមកបាទសូមជូនពរឲ្យទូរទស្សនិកជនទាំងអស់ជួបប្រទះតែសេចក្តីសុខប្រកបមុខរបររកស៊ីមានបានហើយមានសុខភាពល្អបរិបូរណ៍គ្រប់ក្រុមគ្រួសារបាទពីយើងខ្ញុំទាំងពីរនាក់សូមអរគុណនិងសូមជម្រាបលាបាទ